I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari arrives in the United States to hold talks with his U.S. counterpart, President Barack Obama. White House statement says discussions by both presidents may center on tackling Boko Haram and repatriation of stolen assets and funds, among others. Department of State Services, DSS, explains siege on the home of former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, accuses him of treasonable felony. And German Chancellor Angela Merkel willing to consider debt relief for Greece. President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived in the United States for that historic meeting with U.S. President Barack Obama. The president arrived at Andrews Air Force Base this afternoon and is set to be lodging at the Blair Mansion on Pennsylvania Avenue in D.C. Our correspondent in Washington, D.C., Maria Bird, says his stay at the Blair Mansion is historic, as a sitting Nigerian president has never received such a welcome from the United States. Earlier, a statement from the White House said the U.S. president is looking forward to President Buhari's visits, during which both leaders will be discussing the menace of Boko Haram and how to tackle insurgency. President Buhari is making this visit accompanied by a 33-man delegation who will hold consultations with their U.S. counterparts and other events aimed at building strong Nigeria-U.S. relations. Also up for discussion during the visit is how the United States will help Nigeria track billions of stolen assets and increase U.S. military assistance. The visit has been seen as a seal on U.S. improving ties with Nigeria since Buhari won the April presidential election. Meanwhile, the United States government says it will offer help to Nigeria in tracking billions of dollars of stolen assets and funds. The government also said the United States military will offer assistance to Nigeria in the fight against Islamic militants. According to a White House statement, this is part of what is expected to feature during discussions between President Muhammadu Buhari and the U.S. President Barack Obama during the visit in Washington, D.C. In the past administration, cooperation between former President Goodluck Jonathan and the United States government had virtually grounded to a halt over these issues, including the alleged refusal of then-President Jonathan to investigate corruption and human rights abuses. President Obama had long seen Nigeria as arguably the most important influential country in sub-Saharan Africa and had always been willing to help the country counter terrorism through training. Since President Buhari's election, Washington is said to have committed $5 million in new support for multinational task force to fight terrorism. This is in addition to $34 million that it had provided to Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon and Niger for equipment and logistics. Now, the Anglican Church of Nigeria has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to do all he can to recover the nation's stolen wealth. Right Reverend Dakwa Shaju, a professor and bishop of the Theologian Society of Nigeria, said Nigeria's deep-rooted challenge of good leadership is responsible for mass unemployment, corruption and violence. The professor, however, noted that sincere people must come together to brainstorm in a conference and help fix the nation. Our correspondent, Gloria Omezoke, reports.
This country will survive. All our stolen money will be recovered.
Bishop and Professor Dakbo Ashaju, like many other Nigerians who have literally pleaded for change from the incoming administration, continue to highlight crucial areas of focus. Top clergymen led hundreds of worshippers in a prayer in the nation's capital concerning burning issues that can no longer be ignored.
Let the government go back and recover all our stolen wealth. Let them repair our roads. Let them revive the hospitals. Bring back our Chibok girls. Bring back our doctors. Bring back our nurses. Let education work well, and we will have a beautiful country. This is the only country where even if you have no job, you will survive. We have family values. We love God. We love love each other, it is a good country, if only we have good leaders.
The bishop and other clergymen equally appeal to all Nigerians, particularly politicians, to stop the looting of public funds and concentrate on engaging the teeming unemployed youths.
And those who have ruled us, who have destroyed this country, they are recycling themselves. I said on the pulpit there, people who are governors, they come back to the Senate. They go to House of Representatives. What are they looking for? Are they the only ones? In the midst of millions of people, are there no younger people who can also serve? Those who are surrounding the good leader are not so much people who have so much credibility that they want to boast about. It's a big problem. So let good people come out. Let them give good ideas to this man and the blueprint on how to achieve it. Let them surround President Buhari and move this country forward. The next 4 years will be very critical for this country.
It's not about recycling the people that are there. People will go and come back, No plan. They say youth are the leaders for tomorrow, but they are not engaged now. The youth have potentials, but many times they don't have opportunities. And the plans of many of the plans done, they are not carrying along or put in place. So I will advise the government, encourage them to do everything that they will do to empower the youth.
The leader says the intense prayers will be held relentlessly until the nation sees the much-deserved change.
The glory of Nigeria will return again!
Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Let's talk more now about that historic visit that President Muhammadu Buhari is making to the United States to discuss with President Barack Obama on a certain number of issues. Joining me now from Abuja is the former Nigerian ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Humphrey Ojiako. Ambassador, you're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ambassador, I'm hoping that you can hear me. What do you make of this visit?
For Nigeria, this is a very important visit.
Oh, I was seeking your opinion on the visit that President Muhammadu Buhari is making to the United States, being a guest of President Barack Obama.
Yes, I am saying that this is a very important visit for both presidents and for the countries they lead, Nigeria and the United States. Already, there is a platform on ground established in 2010, the Nigeria-United States Binational Commission. I think when the two presidents have agreed after their discussions on what to do in collaboration with each other, the BNC will provide a very useful platform to execute whatever agreements they would have reached on the issues of defense and security matters. Now, in terms of security and defense, the president has his job cut out. That's the Nigerian president has his job cut out. And that is to persuade his American counterpart, and of course their senior officials, that both countries have a lot to gain with a clearer collaboration and cooperation in restoring Nigeria to the position where it will serve as America's principal partner to monitor and secure the peace and security of the West African, and in fact, the African region. So the president will have to make demands that allow Nigeria to begin to develop a certain self-reliance in the area of security and defense equipment. The Nigerian defense industries, or DICON, has suffered a lot of drawbacks in the recent past. That is an area the president could seek United States collaboration to use both their intellectual property rights and their technologies to upgrade the possibilities and the potentials that DICON has not realized so far. The Nigerian defense industries is very important in that aspect, so that Nigeria doesn't always have to run to Russia or China or anybody else for basic necessary defense equipment. The two presidents will have to work out a reliable supply contract system in the defense area, so that what happened during President Jonathan's period may not happen again. Again, the BNC is a good platform to work out the details on this kind of arrangement, so that those conditionalities that create problems for both sides during moments of supply and will not materialize again. These have to do with the issues of human rights and the LGBT and all those things. Of course, intelligence sharing is a very important area for Nigeria. Intelligence, not necessarily tactical or strategic intelligence as such, but intelligence about tracing monies. How does Boko Haram, in the first instance, get funded? Who funds them? What are the channels they use? What are the platforms they use? How does Boko Haram get its suppliers and resuppliers, both in terms of military and logistical support? The United States has the capacities to trace some of these things, and sharing such information with the Nigerian security agencies will help a lot to keep Boko Haram at bay. Of course, training and morale boosting, morale elevation of our troops is a very important aspect of the two presidents' discussions. In this instance, President Buhari stands a very great opportunity, has a great chance to achieve this, because he himself is a graduate of one of America's principal military institutions. He will still have colleagues, and he understands the subject very well. He should do very well there. The most important thing probably for President Buhari to achieve is to finally persuade the American establishment that there is a coincidence of interest between Nigeria and the United States, a very clear harmony of interest for the two countries to now collaborate effectively in defeating Boko Haram as soon as possible. The same way the United States pays attention, of course, very short-term approach to dealing with Boko Haram, the same way the United States should pay greater attention to Boko Haram, not as a way of helping Nigeria, some people think it is, not as a way of assisting Nigeria, but by way of collaboration, because the mutual interests of both countries, the African continent and the United States, are involved here.
Ambassador, thank you so much. You have done a really good job of outlining, the benefits of this visit, as both leaders sit to discuss tomorrow, July 20th. We do appreciate your being with us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ambassador Humphrey Ojako is a former Nigerian ambassador to the United Nations. But in part 2, after the break, more discussions on President Muhammadu Buhari's historic visit to the White House. Please join us again.